A few months back, I made a video about how Ben 10 replaced his old aliens with new ones. And honestly, I didn't expect it to blow up like it did. So now that I'm fresh out of ideas, yep, let's call it what it is. Welcome to part 2. Big Chill is one of Ben's most popular aliens, and for good reason. He can breathe out freezing air or a cold energy beam that drops the temperature so fast, it can freeze enemies solid almost instantly. It's not just cold, it's dangerously cold. He's also got the power to go intangible, which means he can pass through walls, people, and pretty much anything. Attacks go right through him. On top of that, he can fly at high speeds, hover in place, and when he folds his wings around his body, he looks like he's wearing a spooky cloak. So yeah, cool powers, cool design. Literally. But what a lot of fans don't notice is how Big Chill quietly replaced some older aliens. First up, Ghostfreak. Back in the classic series, Ghostfreak had a similar role. He could float, turn invisible, and phase through solid objects. While their personalities are totally different, their powers overlap a lot. Even visually, there's something similar. Ghostfreak had a second layer of skin that he peeled off, while Big Chill wraps his wings around himself like a cloak. Not the same, but definitely in the same ballpark. Then there's Arctiguana, the ice alien we first saw with Ben 10K. He had freezing breath, and filled that cold powers slot in Ben's lineup. Ben unlocked him at some point between the original series and Alien Force, but once Big Chill came in, Arctiguana kind of disappeared. In Ultimate Alien, future Ben gave him back to present Ben, and in Omniverse, he made a few more appearances, but he never really went back to being a main alien. Big Chill had already taken over the cold-type role. So when you look at it, Big Chill didn't just join the team, he kind of replaced two other aliens in one go. He covered Ghostfreak's ghost-like powers, and Arctiguana's freezing ability. That's probably why he became one of the main picks during the Alien Force and Ultimate Alien era. The way Wild Mutt got replaced in Ben 10 is honestly mind-blowing, if you look at it carefully. He didn't just get swapped out by one alien. It took 3 different aliens to fully steal his spotlight. First, there's Blitzwolfer. This alien came in with claws, fangs, and a powerful sense of smell, just like Wild Mutt. Both of them rely on animal instincts, and both are all about tracking and close-range attacks. The main difference? Blitzwolfer has eyes, which made him a little easier for animators to work with and more expressive on screen. But power-wise, he covers a lot of the same ground as Wild Mutt. Next is Wrath. He was introduced in Alien Force, and while his personality is loud and over the top, his powers line up surprisingly well with Wild Mutt's. Both are physically strong, aggressive, and have enhanced senses, especially smell. Wrath feels like a more humanoid version of Wild Mutt, with the same wild energy but with speech, personality, and a catchphrase. Again, not an exact replacement, but the overlap is definitely there. Now here's where it gets really interesting. The third alien is Armadillo. And at first, you might think, what does this guy have to do with Wild Mutt? They don't look alike, don't act alike, and their powers seem totally different. But if you go way back into early Ben 10 development, Wild Mutt was originally designed as a digging-type alien named Digger. His main power was burrowing underground. Wild Mutt kept some of that ability. He can still dig using his claws. But that original Digger idea? That concept fully evolved into Armadillo. He drills through the ground, breaks through rock, and handles everything Wild Mutt could have done in that role. So even though it's not obvious at first glance, Armadillo ended up taking over one of Wild Mutt's original core abilities. So yeah, it's kind of wild, no pun intended, but it really took 3 aliens to phase out Wild Mutt. Blitzwolfer took the tracker role. Wrath took the aggressive animal strength. And Armadillo inherited the digging ability from Wild Mutt's early concept. Put it all together, and suddenly, Wild Mutt just vanished from the spotlight. In the first video, I mentioned how Brainstorm pretty much took over Gray Matter's spot, and that's true. But there's another alien that came in later and challenged Gray Matter in a completely different way, Jury-Rig. Now, Jury-Rig isn't as smart as Gray Matter. He's not the calm, thinking-type genius. But he makes up for it in other ways. He's small, super fast, and has the unique ability to build or fix machines using whatever scraps he can find, right on the spot. That chaotic, rapid-fire engineering style makes him really useful in situations where there's no time to think, just build and go. And here's a cool detail. Even though jury-rig species is totally different, the Galvans, gray matter species, actually admire his kind for their mechanical skill. That says a lot, considering the Galvans are known as one of the smartest species in the universe. So no, jury-rig isn't a replacement in terms of intelligence. He's not beating gray matter in a science fair. But in terms of usefulness, he holds his own. He can build faster, move quicker, and even hit harder. For a lot of action-heavy situations, that gave him an edge over gray matter and helped push the original tiny genius further into the background. Last time, we talked about Upgrade's ability to liquefy his body, since he's made of nanotech. But today, let's focus on something else. His real power, controlling machines. Upgrade can take over and merge with technology like it's nothing. So who replaced that? There's actually another alien in Ben's roster who can do something very similar. Can you guess who it is? I'll give you 5 seconds. Drop your answer in the comments. Alright, time's up. It's AmpFibian. Did you get it right? AmpFibian is one of the most underused aliens in the entire series. He can turn into pure energy and travel through cables, control machines, and even mess with electronics from the inside. On top of that, he can make himself intangible, swim super fast, and survive deep underwater. He can also sense the electrical signals in other creatures' brains, basically, read thoughts. That's insane. But here's the weird part. We almost never see him. For an alien with powers that strong, he barely got any screen time. It's kind of a shame. He had the potential to fully replace Upgrade's machine controlling role, but just never got the attention. Now let's talk about Jet Ray, and how he quietly got replaced by Astrodactyl. Jet Ray could fly at insane speeds and even survive in space. Then came Astrodactyl. He could also fly, but he added something Jet Ray never had, combat power. Astrodactyl had energy whips and could fire blasts, making him way more useful in aerial fights. He wasn't just fast, he could actually fight while flying. That said, he had one big drawback. He needed a jetpack to fly, and he couldn't survive in space like Jet Ray could. So while he was more helpful in battle, he couldn't fully take Jet Ray's place in every situation. Still, in most episodes, if Ben needed to fly and fight, Astrodactyl became the go-to pick. And just like that, Jet Ray slowly faded out of focus. So yeah, over time, a lot of Ben's classic aliens got pushed aside. Some replaced directly, others quietly faded out. It's crazy to see how the roster evolved. Which replacement do you think was the most surprising, or maybe the most unfair? Let me know in the comments. And if you want a part 3, you know what to do. Thanks for watching.